Kilo Quebec 4 Whiskey Hotel.
Kilo Quebec 4 Whiskey Hotel. What's the name there?
For Whiskey Hotel. What's the name there? Good afternoon, Jim. Hope you got a good copy on me. The name here is David. Over.
Roger, David. Got you loud and clear. I'm copying you on the Milford PASDR. And what's your location?
Jim, I'm located in South Carolina, and talked with you about a month ago on a Yaesu FT990 with the MD100 mic, and upgraded to a rig that would do 6 meters, and it's got a lot of audio settings on it, so I've made my best guess on those, and when you get ready, I'd like to run through a few of them. KQ4WH, David in South Carolina.
Roger, David. Well, we might as well start with the essentials and bring your compressor online at about a 3. Get that compressor on at about a 3, Roger.
Compressor on at about a 3, Roger. All right, sir. Well, I've got the compressor cut on right now, so if you give me 1 second, I'll cut it off and then come right back to you. Okay, Jim, that's with the compressor cut off, and I had it set to where it was, the needle was 3 to 5 during the peaks, over, but this is with the compressor cut off.
Yeah, Roger. Now, you want to keep that compressor on, and you want it to set it up for about a third of its capabilities. You just want it to be a 3 out of 10, a 30 out of 100, just a third of its capabilities. Roger, Roger?
Its capabilities. Roger, Roger? Roger, Roger. Okay, I have the compressor cut back on. One of the other settings, and it would take way too long to go through all of them, is the mic equalizer. I have the mic equalizer cut on, but I'm going to cut it off for just a moment and come right back to you. Okay, Jim, that's with the mic equalizer cut off. Like I say, the equalizer's got like a dozen settings, and I did a lot of reading on some of the forums for the Yaesu. By the way, this is the Yaesu DX-3000 with the MD100 microphones, and I got a Ameritron AL80B running at about 600 watts on a homebrew inverted V antenna called the Carolina 3-wire monster. Okay, sir, this is with the equalizer still cut off. Over.
Yeah, okay. What we need is just a little bit more top end. So if you can go to your equalizer and about 2 clicks more top end. What kind of equalizer does that have?
And what kind of equalizer does that have? It's one that's built into all the, I just got the equalizer back on, Jim. It's one that's built into all the menus. It's got menu from like 179 through, I think there's 9 different settings, and one equalizer applies if the processor's cut on, and the other equalizer applies if the processor's cut off. But I think there's about 9 settings that you can dial in on that equalizer. Over.
All right, let's hold on that for just a second, but I want you to go to your ALC and with mic gain in hand and adjust the ALC for reading of mid-scale to 2/3. So go to your ALC and with mic gain in hand and adjust for mid-scale to 2/3 as you just speak naturally, just like you normally do into your mic.
Just like you normally do into your mic. All right, sir. This is going to about, I say voice peaks are hitting about 75 to 80% of full scale. Is it a little bit too hot? Over.
No, it's perfect. Your dynamic range is 3 dB, exactly where you want to be. And your EQ could stand just a couple of clicks more on the top end. So, but I don't think you have a like normal EQ where you would have like a 3-band EQ or something. So let me just call that close enough for right now, Roger.
All right, sir. Well, if you would give me just about 1 more minute, I'm sure you got other stations waiting. This thing has got side bandwidth setting on it, and I've got it set on the default setting. I would like to move it to 1 under and 1 over and let you hear both ways.
All right, let me just say that what you need to do is operate that radio on the 100 to 2900 bandpass. 100 to 2900 bandpass. I don't need to hear the others. That is where you need to be, Roger.
That is where you need to be, Roger.
Okay, well, it was on 300 to 2700. If you give me just 1 second, I'll put it to where you said. Hang on. All right, Jim, that is 100 to 3000. 100 to 3000. Over.
You don't have a 100 to 2900?
You don't have a 100 to 2900?
Let me look.
I say 2900 because if you go to 3, sometimes you get people upset that are next door to you. 29 is a safe bet, so I usually recommend a bandpass of 100 to 2900. To the point that I would suggest putting all of your bandpass options to 100 to 2900, so you can't operate that radio in any other bandpass but 100 to 2900. Roger?
But 100 to 2900, Roger.
Roger, sounds like a good tip, Jim. Okay, I overran it. It does have 100 to 2900, 100 to 2900, and that's where it's sitting right now. I had run it up. This radio does have the monitor feature, so I can put headphones on and listen to myself, but it's a little tainted trying to hear yourself while you're talking. But I had run it up to the top end of it to scale one time, and it put a lot of bass in it, which may have been okay for rack chew, but probably wouldn't cut through very well. But anyway, this is 100-2900, over.
Yes, sir. That's where you want to be. And as far as monitoring live as you're transmitting, I don't advise that because there's a lot of leakage that goes on. Now, you may not hear it in your earphones, but they do leak. Most earphones do leak. And that blow-by gets back in your audio, and it just makes it sound like something that you don't want it to sound like. So I suggest that to not use your monitoring function when you're transmitting, Roger.
Monitoring function when you're transmitting, Roger.
Roger, Jim, that sounds like a really good tip. I appreciate it. All right, sir, unless you've got a suggestion for a different setting, we'll let everything sit right here. And do you think we made any improvements from when we started? Over.
Well, I'd have to defer to your ear if when you check out the air check there from our beginning to our end. You were pretty close there, except for the bandpass, and you were kind of shooting yourself in the foot there by that lower bandpass as opposed to the 100 to 2900. Because the whole thing about amateur radio and transmitting and all that stuff is definition for somebody at a remote point to be able to receive your signal and understand what you're saying. I mean, if they can't understand what you're saying, it's a kind of a useless transmission. So what you want to do is make your audio as articulated as possible, and that means that the upper end gives you so much intelligibility that you really need all that you can use. And when you run 2700, you're chopping off a lot of your top end audio frequency response, and that just adds to your intelligibility, Roger.
Adds to your intelligibility, Roger.
Copy that. Yeah, I was looking to see where it was at when we first started. I've got it sitting on the 100, 2900. So, I couldn't prove it, but I thought the audio, and I've got the YouTube video saved. I got it bookmarked, but I thought the audio on my my Yaesu FD990 may have been a little better because I didn't have this one set right, but I think this bandpass is going to be a big improvement. I appreciate the tip on that.
Oh yeah. You can just hear the difference there. It's just like opening a window. If you're outside a house, it's like opening a window to be able to hear the voice inside that much clearer, Roger.
Inside that much clearer, Roger.
Roger that, and I was just looking, stand by. Yeah, and that was 320 that we started with.
Roger, Roger. And I was just looking around at some other SDRs, but you're by far heaviest on Milford. You're probably 15 over on Milford, Roger.
15 over on Milford, Roger.
Roger that. All right, sir. I'm sure you got some other stations standing by, Jim. I really appreciate time to give me some tips. I don't mind putting the work in. I did a lot of reading. I went to the Hi-O Mike website, and they had some suggestions for the radio. And then I joined the forum for the DX-3000, and of course, radio settings are all over the place, but kind of got in the middle of all of it. So I thank you for your time, and check YouTube in a few days for a copy of this. Over.
Roger, Roger, David. Yes, and that would be my group air check 7/31/20. Today's date. My group air check 7/31/20. And I think you'll like it. Your last few transmissions have been just perfect, Roger.
And just perfect, Roger.
Thank you very much. All right, sir. Well, unless you got another tip, I'm going to go ahead and sign with you. Again, this is the MD100 Def mic, and I really believe it makes a big improvement over a hand mic. And unless you got a final tip for me, I'll say 73s, and thank you for the service, and thank you for your time. This is Kilo Quebec 4, Whiskey Hotel. David over in South Carolina, about 60 miles inland from Charleston, South Carolina. So we do have a keen eye on the storm that's coming up the coast in a few days, and we hope it stays off the coast. I'm not even going to attempt to pronounce the name of it. It's currently 95 degrees here in South Carolina with a heat index of 107, so we can stay put. 73, Jim, unless you got another tip. KQ4WH.
Roger, David. Well, you got the whole shebang today for sure. But if you get a chance, check back with us next Friday and check in and say hello, and we'll listen to you and see what you've been up to. So 3s for now, and you have a great weekend coming up. This is KC9VKV, the Friday afternoon Qso-Vlog network. If you have a radio you want to check out, give me a shout.